Okay, this is next in the series of alphabet. This is going to be Theresa. And Theresa is a yard machine 550E Briggs and Stratton. It was self-propelled. Chances are I won't be able to save that because it's so old and the cables are all rusted up. I always like to see what it is that people have done to these mowers. I bought this mower for $20. Got the hose clamps on here, trying to keep this from popping off because it's so rusted. This is the self-propelled mechanism. It is totally locked up. Not sure what some of these cables go to. This is the cable that is the kill switch. That's the cable for the self-propelled. And here is the mystery cable. And speaking of mysteries, what in the world is that? A giant spring, coil spring with a big hook on the end. There's a bunch of plastic wrapped around there. God only knows what that's for. And so this mower is going to lead a lot of work. We're going to try and save it and make it run. You can see the cord is just kind of hanging. It doesn't retract very well. There it goes, but it does sometimes hang out. And then this is lovely underneath. I want to show you the blade. That is not much left of that blade. Tons of grass accumulation. But the deck appears solid. So in a lot of ways, I just bought this for the $20 deck. But we're also going to try and get this mower running. It'll probably be if I get it running, it'll probably be a push mower. I don't think I'll invest a lot of money in trying to get it to be self-propelled. So let's get Theresa up on the table and we'll take a look at her even more in depth. First thing I'm going to do is get this weird spring off. No idea why somebody would put that on there. It's pretty tight though, so let me, he's got it hooked into the little loop that holds the cap on to keep it from coming out. He's got the, oh man, he's got that spring attached to the governor. So God only knows what that's doing to the RPMs of this machine. If we're ever to run with all that on there, there's a bunch of weird stuff hooked up on this thing. So let me put the camera down and I'm going to try and get some of this stuff off. Poor Theresa has been mistreated for sure. Got all kinds of weird things going on with her. Let me get my gloves on, see if I can get this weird spring off. And maybe the mystery will be revealed as to why that thing is even on there. Let's see, I'll get the tension off that way. There we go, got that end off. So we'll put that off. So there's your big honking spring. Not sure what that is. This is, it's like an old dog collar. I don't know what the word that is. This is the primer type. The throttle spring is gone, so that's not going to be good. Let's get this cover off, see if we can figure out why it's hanging up. That's going to take a 5/16 socket, and at least get started on this thing. Probably the next thing I'll do is put a blade on there that's not torn up. Get this thing started. Ooh, that's in there tight. It may not even come out. Let's see this one. Man, somebody had these things like torqued in here. Can really mess these up if you over tighten them and strip the threads on that. Let's see if they'll come out now. There's one out. Got lucky there. There's two out. There's three. Oh man, that's the tough one there. Okay. Let's see what the deal is here. I always want to be careful when you get these old mowers been left outside and neglected that there's not critters underneath. Mice, spiders, wasp nests. So I'm looking, oh, the spring's all messed up. No wonder that thing's not working. That is totally messed up. I'll either replace that or repair it. Let's see if this thing's got any compression. Take the spark plug off. Get something to hold that brake down. I'm going to turn the flywheel, see if it's got compression or not. All right, let's take a look now. Yeah, I think, oh yeah, it's got good compression. There it is right there. Very nice, very nice. Let's see if it's got gas in it. Nope, not really. Let's check the oil. That's a tad loose. Somebody had installed that right. It's got some oil in it. Let me check it again a little more precisely. The oil is exactly at the level you want it to be. This thing, this dipstick clips into this little frame here, and somebody has pulled it out and not put it where it belongs. So let me, it's only attached on one side, that's why it's kind of loose. So I'm going to get a toothbrush, knock the big stuff off, because I don't want that stuff dropping down in my crankcase when I pull this out. I'm going to pull this dipstick out and then reinsert it so that it's in that where it belongs. Come on, you. Doesn't want to go back in. There we go. Okay, so now let me show you what I'm talking about here. It's always good to see it up close. See, what had happened is this one was in place, this one was out, so this whole thing was flopping around. Well, now it's in that groove, and that's in that groove, and see, now it's locked in place really good. So we know it's got compression, we know it's got oil. Let me tilt this thing back. I want you guys to see this blade. It is a nightmare. The end is just completely chewed off on both ends. So that blade will have to be replaced. They get that chewed up, then they get out of balance. They'll vibrate like crazy. Let's see, I've got the spark plug off. Well, I've got it back. I'm gonna do a quick check. I'm gonna set the phone down here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do a quick check and see if I can tell if the crankshaft is bent or not. You gotta be careful doing this because the spark plug it's not connected, but it's in. So I'm just watching that to see if it's gonna wobble around. Well, that's wonderful. I don't think the crankshaft is bent, so that's good. So things are looking up for Theresa. All right, so come back and we'll do episode 2, and we're going to try and save this mower.